2 police officers showed up at the home of a psychic, hoping she could help them uncover the truth behind a recent tragedy. Using her tarot cards, the psychic predicted something chilling: one of these officers wouldn't live much longer. The demon watching her became furious that she had revealed such secrets, and gave her a stern warning. The story begins with a veteran police officer, who we'll call Officer King. He recently had a son in his later years, and his life couldn't be happier. His son was born at the same time as several other babies, including the son of a single mother named Maria. Her little boy, along with the others, were all being cared for in the same hospital nursery. But right after Officer King left for a mission, something terrifying happened at the hospital. A nurse, expression frozen, eyes blank, clearly under some kind of possession, walked into the nursery and, without emotion, ended the lives of all the babies inside. Miraculously, Maria's son had not been in the nursery at the time, so he was the only one who survived. Later that day, Officer King was getting ready to go home when he received the devastating news: his baby boy was gone. He broke down instantly. 5 years passed. In the U.S., a man known as the Analyst from the Department of Paranormal Affairs received a disturbing call. There had been a school shooting near the Mexican border. A 12-year-old boy had opened fire on a group of kindergartners. This case caught the Analyst's attention, not just because of the tragedy, but because he had been secretly investigating the unsolved murders of newborns in that hospital 5 years ago. And now, another child was at the center of a horrific incident. Back in Mexico, the little boy who had survived that hospital attack, Maria's son, had grown up. He was now a sweet, gentle kid. Maria, still a single mom, was doing her best to raise him despite their struggles. One day, the boy told her he had a nightmare about encountering a demon at school, alongside his cousin. After the school shooting, Officer King and his partner were assigned to the case. Since the death of his son 5 years ago, things hadn't been the same, especially after his wife took her own life out of grief. The 12-year-old shooter from the new case had acted just like the possessed nurse from before. After committing the crime, he ended his own life. His mother was overwhelmed with sorrow, unable to provide any helpful information. Tragically, Maria's nephew, her son's cousin, was among the victims of the school shooting. Maria's son had stayed home sick that day, narrowly avoiding death once again. Maria's sister told Officer King something unsettling. A bald priest had visited her days before the shooting, warning her that something terrible was about to happen to both her nephew and her son. This priest said more tragedy was coming, and that the school shooting was linked to the hospital massacre 5 years ago. The Department of Paranormal Affairs arrived on the scene and began their investigation. Using advanced technology, they found a match. The fingerprints at the school matched those from the hospital crime scene years ago. After questioning the victims' parents, they finally identified the bald priest. According to records, he used to be part of a Christian sect but was excommunicated after allegedly performing satanic rituals in Rome. He had also been spotted near the nursery right after the hospital massacre, and was seen near the school again just before the shooting. With no solid leads, the team turned to a medium for help. Unfortunately, the psychic couldn't reveal the priest's location, but she did issue a chilling warning. Between Officer King and his partner, one of them was destined to die. The next day, Maria took her son to the supermarket. Just as they arrived, the bald priest and his followers abducted them. At the same time, a man walked into the store with a backpack. He triggered a bomb, setting off a massive explosion. Ironically, being kidnapped by the priest actually saved Maria and her son from being killed in the blast. As authorities analyzed the incidents, a strange pattern emerged. In all three horrific events, the nursery, the school, and now the explosion, Maria's son should have been there, but something always kept him away. It couldn't be coincidence. A survivor from the explosion also confirmed seeing the bald priest shortly before it happened. Investigators discovered that he had once run a children's church, which primarily served single mothers, orphans, and struggling families. That church had been shut down years ago due to ties to multiple missing children cases. Officer King, his partner, and the analyst went to investigate the abandoned church. While searching the building, they encountered a sealed room, clearly designed to keep something evil out, or in. Suddenly, a fallen statue of Jesus began to speak, but not in the voice of any savior. It was the voice of a demon. The demon made Officer King an offer: if he killed one child, the demon would stop causing any more disasters. The demon even offered to bring back Officer King's wife and son from the dead. Confused and tormented by visions, Officer King lost control and attacked the analyst. Before things went too far, the bald priest appeared and shocked him unconscious. When Officer King came to, the priest told him the truth: Maria's son wasn't just a survivor. He was the chosen one, a child destined to save humanity. The demon had been trying to eliminate him from the moment he was born. All of the tragic events, the hospital massacre, the school shooting, the explosion, had one goal: to destroy this boy. But thanks to the priest's protection, the demon had failed every time. Now, the only way to protect the boy was to get him and Maria across the border into the US, to a monastery equipped to fight demonic forces. But they couldn't use legal channels, they didn't have the right papers. Officer King and his partner used their connections to make a deal with a drug cartel, who provided access to a secret tunnel under the border. The tunnel was filled with traps: one wrong step, and it could be the end. Lost in the maze, they didn't know where to go, until, miraculously, a beam of light appeared, guiding them forward. They followed it into a dark underground chapel, where the priest immediately warned them they needed to leave. But it was too late. The demon possessed Officer King again. The priest tried to perform an exorcism, but the demon was prepared. Using King's body, it overpowered both the priest and the analyst. Maria grabbed her son and ran as fast as she could, with the demon chasing closely behind. They made it out of the tunnel, but the demon wasn't far behind. Officer King's partner arrived just in time to try and stop him, but the demon-controlled King shot his partner, fulfilling the psychic's earlier prediction that one of them would die. The demon then tried to take the boy. In a desperate act to protect her son, Maria struck Officer King and knocked him out. They all returned to the underground chapel for one final stand. The priest, having recovered, decided it was time for a final battle. He lured the demon into a trap, chaining the possessed Officer King to a cross. The demon laughed, declaring he would never leave as long as King was alive. During the showdown, the analyst was fatally wounded. In a final act of sacrifice, the priest drew the demon's attention to himself and sealed it inside a massive stone. When Officer King finally awoke, he was confused. He had no memory of his actions while possessed. But having survived the ordeal, he was now transformed. The priest had passed on his mission. Officer King became the new protector of the chosen child.